أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome to another session of correct pronunciation, and today we will be looking at the pronunciation of Surah Al-Fatihah, and we will get into it straight away. So starting with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which we covered in our last lesson. After that, it is Alhamdu. What you have to take care is that meme, the alphabet meme, should not be prolonged. So it's not Alhamdu. Whatever there is a jazm on top of meme, you do not prolong the sound of meme. Alhamdu Lillahi. Remember to prolong where you should, like Lillahi should be prolonged, but Alhamdu. So these are all short pronunciations. Lillahi Rabbil. Ra has to be pronounced always when it comes with a zabar or a fatha. It has to be pronounced with a slightly round shaped mouth. So it is not Ra, it is Ra. So Rabbil Alameen. So Ain, if you can pronounce the correct way or from the throat, then it is okay. But if you can't, then you can pronounce Rabbil Alameen. So Alhamdu Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. All together. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Next is Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. So to remember in this one is to pronounce Ra with a slightly rounded mouth, and rest of it you can prolong, or you should prolong where it is required, like Ar-Rahma and then Ar-Rahim. So again it is Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Next verse is Maliki. So Malike or Maliki is incorrect. So it is Maliki Yawmiddin. Okay, so the prolongation and the shadda on dal, this should be taken care of. So Maliki Yawmiddin. Next verse is Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. So the thing to remember in this one is that wherever you get ya with a shadda, it should not be pronounced with a harsh sounding voice. So it should not be Ijaka. Okay, it should be Iyaka. The key thing is to not join your top and bottom teeth together. So keep a little bit of gap when you're pronouncing a ya with a shadda. So keep a little bit of gap between your teeth. So that will make ya sound a bit softer. Okay, so it will be Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. When pronounced together, it will be Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. One more thing to remember. So where this ends, Iyyaka na'budu, sometimes people prolong the na'budu while they are searching for the next alphabet. This applies to anywhere you're reading in the Holy Quran. So do not prolong the previous alphabet while you are pronouncing, or you're waiting to pronounce the next one. So you have to stop the length of the previous one. For example, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka. Okay, so do not prolong na'budu wa iyya, because na'budu is short. Next verse is Ihdi. Okay, so previously or in olden times, people, or sometimes even nowadays, people pronounce this as ehde. So ehde is the old type, or not quite the correct one. So the fine tuning requires this to be read as ihdi nasiratal. Okay, so the next one, which is ihdi nasiratal, this section has a ra which again has a fatha or a zabar, so it is pronounced with a round shaped mouth. And then there is ta, which is called toy in Urdu as well. So ta, whenever it has a fatha or a zabar, should also be pronounced with a slightly round shaped mouth. Okay, so it will be not siratal, not siratal, it will be siratal. So ihdinas siratal. The next word is mustaqim. So qaf, if you can pronounce from your throat, that is better, that is the way it should be. But if you struggle to pronounce the qaf from your throat, then you can pronounce this as a kaf. Okay, so mustaqim if you're struggling to pronounce the qaf. So the complete verse will be اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Next one is صراط الذين. Okay, so صراط is the same as the previous verse. So ra and ta is slightly rounded mouth. So صراط. And then ladina. So dal, we will inshallah go into deeper detail of how to pronounce individual alphabets correctly, but I'm going to touch on the pronunciations as we come across in Surah Al-Fatihah. So dal, which is al-ladina, sirat al-ladina. Ladina is a soft sound. Whatever there is dal, it should be pronounced softly. So you place your tongue between your teeth when you pronounce a dal. Do not squish your tongue because it will then sound like alladhina. It will be a very harsh or hard sound. Okay, so when you're pronouncing dal, place your tongue between your top and bottom teeth, but do not press on it. So let it hover between your teeth. So alladhina. Okay, so siratal ladhina an'amta. So again, without going into too much technicality, you will not pronounce or prolong the noon in this an'amta because there is ayn harfi halaki, which we will inshallah touch when we go into further detail of pronunciation or talaffuz. So this word will be pronounced an'amta. It is not correct to pronounce this as an'amta. So both alphabets, noon and meme, will not have a prolonged sound. An'amta alayhim. Okay, so complete verse is Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. This ha, never pronounce this as ha, like the one in Alhamdu. That is a different ha. The difference between these two ha's sounding is the first one, which is alhamdu, is a lighter sound which you pronounce or make when you're cleaning a glass or your glasses. If you wear glasses, when you clean them, it is that sort of sound. So this one is a heavy one, which is in the second last line, an'amta alayhim. This will be felt in your chest. So this is a heavy ha, as I call it. So complete verse, Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Next is ghayril. So ghayn again is one of those alphabets. In addition to ra and ta, which we have read previously, ghayn again, whenever it has a fatha or a zabar on top, it will be pronounced gha, not gha. Okay, so because it is a round shaped mouth with which you pronounce this, this word will be read ghayril rather than ghayril or ghayril. Ghayril maghdubi. So dad, again we will inshallah go into detail when we learn the alphabets individually, but dad has the sound similar to dal, but whenever it has a zabar or a fatha on it, it will be pronounced with a round mouth as well. Okay, but here there is only a pesh on this, So we will pronounce this as ghayril maghdubi rather than pronouncing zubi. Okay? So ghayril maghdubi alayhim. Alayhim is an old type of pronunciation. So here we are going to try and pronounce ayn if you can. It will be alay, and then ha is the heavy ha. Okay? So alayhim waladdallin. Okay? So if we read the wala and waladdallin separately as a reference to the prolongation of an alif and a big mud. Okay? So wala is only what we read if there is an alif. But the da that has a big mud on it, so it will be prolonged as 3 alifs. Okay? So a person who is listening to you reading the Holy Quran, they can clearly differentiate by listening to your reading that there must be a big mud. That is why it is being prolonged so much. Okay? So it should be a clear differentiation. So this one will be read again as waladdallin. And after the big mud or madda, there is a shadda on lam. So rather than saying waladdallin, you can't hear a shadda or a shad on lam. But if you pronounce this as waladdallin, it is like if you throw a rock from height or a ceiling height, and then when it hits the ground, there is a force. So when you're dropping from the height of a big madda onto a shadda, you should be able to pronounce this so clearly that the person listening can clearly tell first there was a big madda and then there is a shadda, hence it sounds like this. So it is a waladdallin. So these are some basic rules to follow to better your pronunciation for Surah Al-Fatihah. At the end, I will read the complete Surah Al-Fatihah with the pronunciation which we have learned. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Jazakumullahu ahsan al-jaza. We will inshallah meet in the next lesson, which will inshallah be the alphabets or the pronunciation of the alphabets or huruf-e-tahajji. We will inshallah try and do multiple lessons to cover every alphabet individually and a few in a lesson. So until the next lesson, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.